Butterflies fill my spine, I feel myself getting hot again. Nerves rushing through my brain, yeah, they can't hear fire from the trees. You're standing by his side, red drops burning down your face. You're real close now, baby. Holy fuck, I feel it with you. I lose self-control. Now I found that you're not one to hear me now. You got me on my knees begging for your lady. And like a fool to stand around and let you blame me. And I'm riding in the sky to the heavens like an
Hi, my name is Leo Connors, and welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. Tonight, I got a really special guest, a really special episode. My guest is Tim Murray, owner
What's up, Leo?
of Cabba Wrestle, which we're going to talk all about that. But let me just talk 5 minutes or so about your wrestling career.
Oh, God, it's going to take more than 5
Well,
minutes to...
you wrestled for so many different companies, and I didn't even get them all. I mean, that's not even.
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
not even half.
Yeah,
honestly.
well, there were a lot of fly-by-night
Right.
places and so forth. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to take more than 5 minutes to, like, detail all of my failures in wrestling.
Well,
so.
how about we just stick to this? What's some of your like best memories of you wrestling and stuff? What's some of your favorite matches or whatever?
Sure. When I started forever ago, I started in 1999. So I started
Long time
before
ago.
kind of. When I started, I met Chris Venom at college.
Yeah.
We went to CCRI together, and I was this really awkward goth kid with like
Yeah.
a giant dog collar, and like no one would talk to me except for him, who was into punk.
Yeah.
And then ECW was around then. That was around the time where, like, if you really liked wrestling, ECW
Yeah.
was the place that you kind of watched and
Yeah.
gravitated towards. So that being the case, he was training to be a wrestler, kind of. He was training to be a wrestler.
Who ended up being a really good one.
He's a great wrestler now, yeah. There was a guy who had dropped out of Killer Kowalski school.
Okay.
And he was training people because that's how it worked back then.
Right.
Is you would essentially you go to a school and then you're like, oh, they're not using me right. That's how every promotion started back then too.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't like this promotion.
Yeah.
I think I should be champion. And now I've started, like giving a weird example, but like NCW's a promotion I ran. I went wrestled forever. And,
Right.
If I was like, oh, I think I should be champion while I'm opening NBCW in the next town over. That's what was happening back then.
Right.
So we trained for a little bit, and then we ended up getting hooked up with the tag team called The Damned.
Yep.
Which was
Matt West.
Yeah. So he was Mad Dog Matt Storm,
Yeah.
and then Draven.
Couldn't remember. Sorry, Draven. if you're watching.
He's not watching.
No.
He's moved on.
Oh,
believe it or
has
not.
he?
For sure. Yeah. So then we started training with The Damned, and that was around 2000. I started training with them. Moved on from there. Trained with Bob Evans for quite a while. Slam
Great
Tech
trainer.
originally was in New Hampshire,
Yeah.
and then it moved into Pawtucket into this like mill building.
The warehouse like type building.
Yeah, well, there were two of them. There was one initially, which was a really small place, and Marcus O. Middleton was like, it was basically like a dual school.
Okay.
There was Slam Tech and another group.
Oh wow.
And then Slam Tech moved into its own spot, kind of basically in the same place.
Right.
Then I trained a bit with this guy Bulldog Blansky, who is like a Connecticut guy.
Yeah, Connecticut guy.
Mike Quackenbush a little bit.
Oh,
Did
nice.
seminars with Mike Quackenbush. Then went to OVW for, I don't know, just almost a year. It was like, who was training there? It was Tank Toland and Seth Skyfire.
Yeah.
Were initially the trainers, and then it moved to Nick Dinsmore after his like Eugene thing.
Right. The Bashams, were they involved at all?
No, oddly funny story, I guess.
Yeah.
Rob Conway, right?
Yeah.
He was the con man one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, cool.
He's a good worker too.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
guy.
So he got fired on TV.
Yeah.
And came back to OVW and was like, oh, I'm going to get my win back and try to come up. Because Aaron Stevens
Yes.
was there when
Yeah.
I was there.
As
And-
Idol Stevens,
Yes, yeah. He and then he went back to OVW after getting dropped from the main roster to like recreate his was it Damien Sandow?
right? Yeah, Damien Sandow.
So he
yeah,
created,
that's when he came back again.
yeah. So I think Rob Conway was trying to do the same thing
Oh, okay, yeah,
to
yeah.
recreate his character, and then he started. He actually like pulled me into the ring and was like, "Oh, let's," and it was like
Nice.
I don't know, my third day there,
Yeah.
just because of like the training. It's kind of a funny weird funny story, but when I went there, the biggest thing that they always said was, you know, you got to make sure that they think you're serious about this, and
Right.
you know, like you got to take it really seriously.
Yep.
There was so Chris Venom told me, he's like, don't. I was only planning on going for like 6 months to a year because I figure, look, if you go here and it's not working out in 6 months, it's not going to work out in 5 years.
Right. No, you're right.
Yeah, and the day I went down, my now ex-wife called me and was like, "Hey, surprise, I'm pregnant." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll be back in 9 months for sure
Yeah.
now." So I was dead silent, and I made sure like didn't tell anyone.
Right.
And it was the worst thing because everyone was just like, "Oh man, this guy's really good. He's gonna take my spot. Like we can't do
yeah.
any of that." And you know, it like didn't tell anyone that I trained
Right.
before or anything like that. And I think it was probably like the second they did a couple shows. They did the Wednesday taping.
For TV?
Yeah, it was a TV taping.
Right.
Wednesdays where.
Yeah, and I think it was on the CW network, I think, or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that.
So when I was there specifically, Al Snow was the booker
okay.
down
Wow.
there. I was there for
Now he's the owner.
Now he's the owner. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was wild. It was oh God. I'm trying to like remember all the angles, but I can't because
Right.
basically they would do a TV taping, then you would sit and they would just discuss
Watch it, no, whatever.
what the angle was. Oh,
Okay.
here's the angle. Where are we planning to go from here?
Right.
Why are we planning to go from here? That type of thing.
Right. Where could we go from
Yeah,
here?
where could we go from here? And it was like the second show, no one told me that you needed a license to wrestle in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys was like, yeah, they didn't tell you because they didn't want you on the show, because if you're on the show, you're gonna look
overshadow
good
somebody,
and all this
yeah.
other stuff. They want to make sure. And I was like, look, man, I'm here. Yeah, I just found out my wife's pregnant. I'm here for 9 months.
Right.
That was the best thing that ever could have happened because they were like, oh, he's leaving.
So they opened up.
Didn't matter. They're like, you're wrestling me on this show, and I got to wrestle a ton, and everyone
That's
was super
awesome.
cool to me, and I heard every dirty, like every story from OVW.
Yeah.
Like I heard all the behind the scenes gossip.
yeah,
and
yeah.
I spilled all the tea. But yeah, I mean, those are kind of some of the things. The first standout moment, I used to wrestle this guy, Kale Murphy, a lot.
Well, K.L. Murphy, I remember that. I remember reading his name in the magazines. Yours too.
Oh, that's
in like the wrestling review magazines, where they have all the all the matches from all around the world.
Yeah. So that was I think Dr. Hersey was the one who used to send those in.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, for EWA too, right?
EWA. Oh
Yeah.
God, yeah. I wrestled Ric Fuller in EWA, which was wild. But yeah, so the one that stood out was I wrestled Kale Murphy in a last man standing match, where I went for like a spear and he moved and I went like through the ropes like a second rope tope and into a wall. Oh. And that was one of the things that stands out. Another one is I wrestled Mike Pava and Jason Blade. And it was me and Chris Venom, and I got Hurricane running off a balcony.
Jesus.
That was like an XWA show.
And where was that? Fall River?
No, that was Bristol. That was forever ago. So that kind of stood out. And I'm trying to think of other stuff. You know, like I did some stuff for Wrestle Party where, you know, like the entrances that I started to come up with started standing out. Where I was like, okay, well, you know, that now the entrances stand out more than the matches themselves.
Right.
Now,
I think I saw you do an entrance. I want to say it was for NCW, where you sinuated the ring. And what it was incredible. I thought you did an incredible job.
Oh, thanks.
I really did.
So
Was that NCW that I saw you doing that?
Probably EWA. I want to say it was
It
probably.
may have been yeah, I don't know though. Yeah, probably was EWA.
I would
I've
assume-
only been to a couple of EWAs, that's why.
Fair enough. Yeah, so probably that. It actually goes back to OVW.
Okay.
Oddly enough. So when I was down there, I was talking to this girl. I think her name was Casey. She was a trainee.
Yeah.
And we were discussing theater because we both took theater in high school and we're talking about like different plays and all this other stuff. And at that time, everyone who was signed was either a football player or like a male model or something like that.
Right.
So there's this group of people around us and we're talking about theater and they just look at us like we have 7 heads. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I talked to her. I'm like, hey, would you mind being a tag team partner for me? And it was kind of weird because it was the first time there would be like a woman and a man who are a tag team.
Right.
And I was like, well, I don't want it to be you're my manager or I'm your manager.
Right.
Like I want to be a tag team.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever been done before.
No, I don't think it has either.
No, and this was 2006 or 7. So I came up with the idea, and then I was like, what do you think of us being like theater dorks? Like the kids in high school who are really into theater, who have like their own language. And I was like, we can get backstage laminates and a giant picture of Donny Osmond, like a framed Donny Osmond picture. And like I had a Wicked t-shirt and we did the striped tights together. And I think she had a Rent shirt. And we came out to Seasons of Love from Rent.
Nice.
And cut to, you know, I came back from OVW just starved. I went down there weighing 215. I came back weighing 159 pounds because like I just couldn't afford food.
Right. Yeah.
Like
No,
I was on the broke diet. I think it's called, right? Where it's just you know, beans and rice and like
Stone Cold says the story he ate just potatoes, like raw potatoes, for every breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
So all he could afford was that $3 bag of potatoes.
Yeah, so I wasn't signed. I went down there on my own dime.
Right.
When I went down there.
Yep.
So I was working a full-time job, and then I was doing the beginner and intermediate class, trying to get into the advanced class.
Right.
Which, like, I didn't even know how I was going to be able to pull that off, because if I got into the advanced class, it was during the day when I was working. So I was working at Humana at the time in downtown Louisville, and like working from 7 till 3, and then training started at 4. Monday and Tuesday. Training was beginner class and then intermediate class. I wasn't getting home until 1 o'clock in the morning. Most of the time.
To work in the morning.
Well, what was happening is I was so broke,
Right.
that I would go to Kroger and I would get 2 Slim Fast, containers of Slim Fast, because they were only like $4 at Kroger.
Right.
So those were, there were 6 of them. So I was drinking 1 for breakfast, 1 for lunch. I would go throughout my entire day. So I'm like working all day. Then I go train from 4 p.m. until 1 in the morning or like midnight, drive back home. Then I would eat dinner. And what was happening is now I would get this like super energy rush. So I was an insomniac the entire time I was in OVW. Like I didn't in Louisville, I should say. I shouldn't say OVW because like I was just paying to be there.
Right.
But yeah,
still, you were there though.
It was cool. Yeah, I was there when like Cody Rhodes was down there. And,
now, how did you get? Did you just send him an email, or or did you just drive down there and take the chance?
No, so you had to contact them. First. So I did a seminar with Al Snow. And I don't know why he like kind of took a liking to me at the time. I think it's just because I'm like, hey, we're going to get pizza. Would you like to come? And no one asked him.
So he was like, I like you guys.
Yeah, we were just hanging out, and we have like a shared love of terrible wrestling. Like that's one of my, like I can't.
Right.
If wrestling is better if it's terrible. For me, for my entertainment value.
I enjoy that too.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we were discussing about just terrible wrestling that occurred, and like believe me, New England, I've seen my fair share. When I started wrestling, I just started training. So like there were so many places, there's still some places, but there's so many places where like half the people are trained and half the people aren't. And like the people who are trained won't wrestle with the untrained people. So the untrained people are just like in these terrible matches. It's just, so he basically told me, he's like, look, I wrestled Bo Douglas on that show. And he was like, look, you need to go to OVW because you're never going to get looked at up here. You're going to have to be seen down there.
Bo knows.
Well,
he does though.
Yeah, it was cool. It was interesting. That was I think that's the only time we ever wrestled.
Yeah.
Which is wild because, you know, like he'd been wrestling since 96, 90.
He's been around a long
95,
time,
96.
and he's still around.
My favorite story of his,
Yeah.
it's really ridiculous, but it's my favorite. It was an NWA New England show. And this happens all the time at every show, technical difficulties, like every time.
Oh, yeah. Something.
Oh my God. Like Cabba Russell had a technical difficulty where like I hired a sound person and he couldn't get the sound to work. And I'm like,
you have
one job.
Yeah.
Which I just need you to do sound. This is the same thing.
Did he fix it eventually?
No. I ended up setting up my sound system and I ended up doing sound for the second half of the show. It was wild. I've never had that happen before.
Right.
But this was similar. It was NWA New England and Woonsocket when they used to have the whatever it was. They had their own training facility.
Oh, yeah, yes,
for a while
yes,
in
yeah,
Woonsocket,
yep.
which was crazy. It was weird. I'm trying like to blast through the stories, but so what is his Trooper Gilmore? I don't know if I can say the name of his actual character, right? It's like
Crazy Chainsaw Bastard.
Okay.
I just said it for you.
Okay.
So you didn't have to.
I don't want to like
No,
get you
I
in trouble
know,
on
hey,
TV or whatever. So he's backstage and he's like, guys, I'm sorry, there's no music tonight. We can't do any music. It's not working and whatever. And Bo just looks and goes, did you try turning it on, Troop? And he just hits the power button. It turns on and everything was fine. Which is my favorite. Like just, that's my favorite Bo Douglas story of him just like.
I love both those guys too. Both those guys.
Yeah, they're
are
really
awesome.
funny. They're funny. Trooper's hilarious. And everyone does a Troop imitation.
Yeah, Troop and a rumble.
Yeah.
There's a rumbles. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
everybody does a rumble.
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't we talk about Cabba Wrestle?
Sure.
All right. Now, Cabba Wrestle is part drag, burlesque, live music, and professional wrestling.
Yeah, so, cabaret, it's...
Cabaret, I'm sorry.
It's the name of it's Cabba Wrestle.
Right.
Right, and it's just based on a cabaret where it's like a variety show.
Right.
So essentially what we do is we have, 4 or 5 drag acts. We have 2 burlesque numbers, sometimes 3, depending on drag and burlesque kind of overlap a little bit sometimes.
Right.
We have a band play. We only usually have 1 band, although in Connecticut we've been having 2.
Oh, cool.
And then we have about 4 or 5 wrestling matches, and they're all different types of variety. Like we had a Kaiju Big Battle match where it was, there was like a city in the ring, like the big buildings, and it was Bosch against Flax, and Bosch presses Flax and throws him into the big thing.
Yeah, my favorite wrestling goat.
I mean, he's the goat.
He is the goat.
No. That's another thing. It's like it's a party, right? We're just trying to have as much fun as humanly possible. Every wrestling promotion's a little different, right? And it's marketed different ways, right? For giving an example, I guess like Showcase, NCW, RWA.
Family friendly?
Yeah, like
all of those are like family friendly. Chaotic's like that too.
Yeah,
family friendly.
Chaotic's a little different. So there's NCW, RWA, all those types of promotions. It seems like kind of their draw is it's $10. Take the family.
Right.
It's a great family night out. You're gonna have a great time with your kids, create memories, all that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
Then there's the Beyond Limitless style of wrestling where it is, Leo, aren't you sick of sitting with those stupid kids and having the wrestlers pander to these plebeians who don't know wrestling as well as you? You know what a real good wrestling match is, right?
Yes, I
so
do.
come to our show and you're
right.
going to see real good wrestling matches, right? And Chaotic, at least to me, seems a little different where, their production value has increased.
Big time. It has. It really has.
So they're kind of like, because of NXT, it seems to me their niche is essentially saying like, this is NXT. It's just like you're going to see these people before they hit NXT.
Right.
Basically.
Right. No, hey,
and it's just as big of a show as NXT because of WWE saying like, hey, there's a developmental system for WWE. Thanks to that, Chaotic can say, well, look at our production value.
Yes.
Look at our talent.
Yes.
We're
history.
just here. Look at the history. We're just here. Right. And Cabba Wrestle is completely different from any of that. We're like, forget all that. we don't, we're just here. We want you to have a good time.
Yep.
We're not here. We're not catering to wrestling fans. I know this is a wrestling show, and we do have wrestling on the show.
So the whole show.
Yeah, it's a big,
Right.
it's a big 3-ring circus or 4-ring circus, as the case may be.
Right.
And we're here to get as many people as humanly possible. And, you're going to meet people that you didn't think that you would meet. It's kind of community driven, but a different type of community than, family oriented and so forth.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about this even more. So I know what like drag is. I told you this off here. And it's like it's like cross-dressing for the most part, right? I mean,
yeah, well, it's just kind of playing with gender roles, essentially, right? So there's drag queens, there's drag kings,
yes.
Then there's drag things, which is like can be anything.
Okay.
I kind of you may have noticed I'm a bit of a creative. Like I play guitar, I play banjo, I play trumpet, I create video games. I'm a writer. I do theater.
You love theater. Yeah,
I do all of these weird things.
Yeah. It's not weird things. It's pretty cool.
It's a lot. I think it's just ADHD, where it's just like I don't have enough.
It might be.
Yeah, I can't focus on one thing.
Right.
So like, all right, I've been video game programming too long. I need to pick up the banjo next to my computer and pretend like I can play. But yeah, so there's different types of drag.
Right. There's cultures.
Yeah, and it's all different. Yeah, like there's a lot behind it, but essentially there's kind of two schools of drag, I guess I would say. There's RuPaul's Drag Race, which is kind of like a drag brunch thing,
right?
Where it's just like your grandmother, you can bring your great aunt, your grandmother out to get French toast of some kind and a coffee, and they're gonna have this silly drag where they're
gonna have fun.
They're gonna have fun. Mine is kind of like more the artistic stuff where I'm telling them like be as weird.
Right.
Push the envelope. Be as crazy as you can.
Right.
And
it's 21 up, so
it's
can
21
do
plus.
that.
Yeah. Almost all of our shows are 21 plus. We have some that are different. Like if we do a free show, obviously I can't.
Right. I understand that.
In which case, a lot of times, burlesque burlesque is still PG-13. It's not.
Right.
It's more of an artistic like dance type thing than it is, like stripping or whatever.
Right.
However,
yeah, because I mean, it can be strippers sometimes, right? Like burlesque shows can go into that, or is that completely different?
No, it's kind of different.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it's more an art form than it is.
Gotcha.
It does. It's like sensual. It does remove clothes, but it's not like stripping is just essentially like I'm trying to get your money.
Yeah.
Whereas burlesque is like I'm trying to put across an artistic performance.
Nice.
Yeah. So
excellent. All right. Now, like I was saying, that there's modern cultures. There's like I wrote them down.
Okay.
There's like a ball culture.
Yep.
Drag king culture. Drag queen. Pageantry.
Yeah.
And this one I don't even know. AFAB queen. What is that? Do you know what that is? Because I don't. It's AFAB queen. That was
okay.
I only wrote down the 5 of them. So
fair enough. All right. Well, you got me on that one. Okay, apparently I'm not as up on my drag culture. Well,
you're gonna go searching it when you go home.
I mean, what is that? And I know I'm gonna get a call like, Tim, what is your problem? Like, you know exactly what that is. Ball. It's still, again, it's a little different. Mine is really just showcasing artistic performances. Ball culture is kind of like
stuff, or just.
Yeah, some do sing.
Yeah.
Like we had whatchamacallit on a show who did singing. So whatchamacallit is one of the strangest drag performers you'll ever see in your life. When I saw them first, they always have some kind of like Venetian type mask or something like that. They had these like streamers that went from each one of their fingers out 6 feet from their body. And they had this like kind of ball gown type thing.
Yeah.
And they were just slapping these and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, no, they're on every show. I want them.
Right? And people were probably like, whoa, what's this?
Well, I went to this show and there were like 6 people there.
Right.
So, everyone was just like, I don't even know what to think about this. This is the weirdest thing. And I was like,
but did they remember it though?
Yeah, it was the last show we did at the Gallery, which was in New Bedford.
Right.
They were on that show and everyone there was just like, they are just they did like a living wind-up doll.
Oh, really?
And it was like they had this like crazy
wild.
song. Yeah, it's artistic. That show in New Bedford was really cool because the gallery is this. It's an old gay bar from New Bedford's past, right?
Okay.
It used to be a dive, and like 90% of gay bars were dives until probably 2010, right?
Yeah.
90%, if not higher.
Yeah. The ones in Lowell were.
Yeah, for sure.
They were.
Yeah. So the gallery really fixed up the place,
Yeah.
has amazing cocktails. It's gorgeous inside, and they have all local art that's for sale. And so for that show, I was like, well, let's do a theme.
Yeah.
Let's do avant-garde. So, we had a burlesque performer they were basically in a giant green suit.
Wow.
And, and they were, removing different things to reveal this like crazy green suit with like a tongue dropped out. I had whatchamacallit perform twice because they do such weird stuff.
Right.
One was that like they were basically a wind-up doll.
That's pretty wild.
It was super cool. We had Flem Mignon on the show, who's really good, and Anna Automaton. Anna Automaton did like a Shawn Michaels thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it came out. That's something I
Like
found
a sexy boy
yeah,
dance.
Exactly. Yeah. It was cool, but they're
That's
kind of like a
awesome.
clown.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was a really kind of like interesting, weird, fun show.
Right.
The band was Futon Lasagna, and they killed it. That's
Futon Lasagna?
Yeah, they're a ska band. If you check
I want
them
to
out,
write
they're
that
really
down
good.
because I'm going to have to ask my daughter if she knows that.
I don't think so. They're not super well known,
No.
but they killed. They killed.
Right.
Like the crowd, like there was a crowd came in to like sing and dance with the band, and they got in the ring and they're like playing, and
That's pretty cool.
It was insane. It was such a cool time. Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, where do you book?
Oh, like drag performers?
In burlesque performers. Like, I know where you find wrestlers.
Yeah.
I don't know where do you find them?
Oddly
You
enough-
told me off here, and you can say that answer too.
Oh,
'cause
no.
I love
it's
that
not.
answer. I did.
You just got to slide into their DMs, which, sometimes can backfire. But yeah. So, essentially what ended up happening is I kind of fell into, I took a summer off from work.
Okay.
1 year, and I was just out doing karaoke pretty much every night.
Right.
And one of the places is Dark Lady in Providence has karaoke, and I was just like, I'll go to Dark Lady. That's totally cool with me. Sang karaoke there. Met a couple like drag performers there because they always have a drag show there.
Okay.
Started looking at different shows, and then I found this one called Witch Crap, which is actually. I don't know when this is going to air, but it's the second
Tomorrow,
Sunday.
hopefully.
Oh, tomorrow. Awesome.
hopefully.
So this Sunday,
Yeah.
it's in Providence at Getty's, and that's really like there's a couple in Providence that if you want to see the really artistic ones who are kind of pushing the limit of what drag does, Witch Crap is one of them. It's hosted by Severity Stone. So that was really what opened up the doors. Is I went there, met them.
Right.
Became kind of friendly with them. And then when I booked Severity on the first show, that's kind of what opened everything up because now, okay, that's a legit drag performer who is on Dragula and is doing the show. And then,
so you can get more credibility for you from having someone like that on your show.
That was kind of the hard part with this. It's such a weird concept when you explain it to people like, burlesque, especially what I was talking to you before, burlesque is it's sensual, it's a performance, but it's not, it's not overtly sexual. It's not to be like ogled at.
Yeah.
And that was a major concern is the idea of like, I've been to VFW halls for like wrestling fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Creeps.
It's
no offense, fans, but
no
a
offense.
lot of creeps out there.
Yeah, well, but
There are.
let's not even say the weird guys who take pictures of women in like whatever wrestling hold they're in. But like there's the towny dude who gets drunk and shouts out various things, and that's something I couldn't necessarily have on the show. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to get any burlesque performers back, and drag performers and stuff like that. So it was a hard process of convincing drag performers like, no, I do marketing. That's my actual job. I swear that I'm going to get a really respectful crowd that you're going to enjoy and have a good time.
Right.
And, our first show sold out a month ahead of time.
Nice.
It wasn't Like, it sounds awesome where you're like, oh, we sold out, but there are only 100 tickets.
That's so what? But for your first show, that's way better than most independent companies that start, and they get 35 to 40.
Yeah. It's
You know that.
we haven't had a show that's been like attended by less than 100 people.
That's awesome.
So far, which is really good. Average attendance is it's like a giant decimal point, but it's like 139 point.
Right. No, I hear you.
But
That's
a lot of
good,
that
though.
has to do with, we run the gallery.
Right.
If you want to get to the gallery, buy your tickets early.
Right.
We can only sell 100 tickets.
Yeah.
Like, we cannot.
Right.
That is their capacity.
Yeah.
So we literally cannot let you in. We had a show at ISCO, which was the same thing, where they're like, fire marshal's going to shut us down if we go over 100 people.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And we still ended up with 140 people there because people were like sneaking in and we
Right.
couldn't like keep track. We had a show at Deadbeats. That was a free show. That show was 400 people there.
Yeah,
Like it was
that's awesome.
That was one of my favorite stories from that is the owner of Deadbeats is like, I'm going to get arrested, man. Like, I'm going to get arrested. The cops are going to come and try to shut this down. And like, this is a whole, like, this is not just like we have because we have the live music, because
Right.
we have wrestling, because we have burlesque, because we have drag, and it's like the artistic kind of like alt culture drag.
Yep.
We have a lot of like punk kids and like, very like overtly political, like liberal, I want to say liberal, like progressive, like,
Yeah.
if you're a capitalist on your show, you're
Yeah.
a bad guy. Like, everyone's gonna hate you, right?
Yeah.
So like, we have a crowd boos capitalism on the shows and stuff like that. So he's like, they're gonna shut me down, and then the cops are gonna show up, and we have this queer crowd who's gonna like take out the police, and like, this is gonna be Stonewall Part 2. Like, it's gonna be insane. But it went
God.
fine. But
Right.
there was I have video of it where I was just trying to get to the music from the crowd.
Right.
And I couldn't.
That's how many people-
It was like
Wow.
sardines.
That's
just packed
unreal,
in.
man. That's really good for you.
It was pretty good. And our third show was at this place, Moniker Brewery. That was another one that was really fun.
Was that in Rhode Island also?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I tried to do Providence.
Yeah.
Just because I'm out of Providence, and I think Providence has like a really cool drag scene, a really
Right.
cool music scene,
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And we're expanding this next year. So we've just 30% of our traffic's coming from Boston. 30% of our traffic's coming from Brooklyn.
Right.
Like, a lot of it's coming from Connecticut and Rhode Island.
Yep.
But it's not really an option anymore. Where like, that's where our followers are. So we're
Right.
gonna have to go. So like, next year we're coming to Worcester twice. We're coming to Manchester. We're gonna come up to Manchester.
Yes.
We're going to New Haven. We're going to Hartford again. I have this really weird show happening in Windsor Lock, Connecticut.
Okay.
That's going to be like a festival. That's going to have like aerial acts.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be. I think we're going to do like a dark circus
Okay.
theme. So
Yeah.
it's just going to be. There's a really weird like subculture of clowns in like drag and burlesque. Where it's just
really?
people who dress as clowns, and they do different acts based
Yeah.
on it. So I think we're just going to have all
That's pretty
clowns
cool.
on that show. So we're coming back to New Bedford. I know we're going to be doing another Pride show in Providence. If you
Excellent.
can't make any shows, like, go to that one,
Right.
Because it's going to be insane, that one. And then we have a show coming up. The reason I came here is to plug my New Year's Eve show, which is only $10. We're normally $20 for tickets.
Yep.
But just because the crowd has been so supportive of us all year, like
Right.
we've sold out almost all of our shows this year.
That's
all but like
incredible.
2 of them.
Congratulations.
No,
seriously.
I mean, it's okay. I would like.
It's gonna grow, though. I can tell you right now, it's definitely gonna grow. I'm telling you,
see.
you got a good thing going right
We'll
now.
see. I appreciate it. We'll see what happens. I don't want to count my chickens
No, I
before they
hear ya.
hatch. But yeah, so it's going to be at Narragansett Brewery. It's going to be a crazy show.
Yeah. New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, we have this band Guello. It's from Lowell.
Oh yeah.
So we only
I'm
do
from Lowell.
we only do local music. We
Okay.
don't and we don't do cover bands or anything like that unless we might do like an emo theme or
Right,
something.
right. No, I hear you. Yeah.
But we try to showcase local artists with original music.
Nice.
They're like a local original version of Guar because they have like the monster costume.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like just that's going to be insane.
Wow. What's their name again?
Guello.
Guello?
Yeah, like Jello, but
Okay.
Guel.
Okay.
They have a song called Sharknado.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one on our ad. If you see our ad, we have this drag performer, Slick O'Connell, that I've been trying to get on shows for like over a year. So I'm super excited to have them on the show.
Nice.
They're going to be amazing. We have Kana Kaiser, who is 6'6" Valkyrie.
Wow.
That is the most, like, the sexiest performer you'll ever see in
Right.
your life with this giant beard.
Yeah.
They're amazing. We have Frankie
That's cool.
Cyanide is going to be on the show. They're from Connecticut. So another thing about Cab Wrestle that's really weird is we have a Cab Wrestle title, but it can be defended in any type of competition. So it's not just wrestling. Like if you can challenge in a karaoke contest if you want.
Oh, okay.
You can challenge in a drag off. You can challenge, any way that you want.
Right.
So we're doing a drag off competition for the title between our current champion, Pax Headroom, and Frankie Cyanide. We're going to be doing the first women's gauntlet. We always have a gauntlet on the show. That's,
Okay.
Again, our crowd is kind of neurodivergent and spicy.
Yep.
So we always try to do a gauntlet to get, just
Everybody involved. Like,
well, just, like, here's this character, here's this
Right,
character, let's
right.
get this going.
Yeah.
Here's the drag over here. Here's this band is playing. Now
Right.
we're doing this thing. So it's going to be the first ever one that we had when we did a tag
awesome.
gauntlet for at our platform show. That was insane. There were just so many people
Right.
involved in that one. And we're going to have Qualms Galore on the show, who's a burlesque performer from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
Logan Black is going to be facing Alexander Lee.
Wow.
Which is going to be a wild,
that ought to be good,
crazy,
man.
ridiculous match.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be
Alexander's
crazy.
been on a few of your shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been.
Yeah. He's talented.
Well, I've known him since he was Scotty Vegas.
Right, right.
I actually met him when he first started training.
Really?
In Maine. Yeah. So I used to work in this place called RPW.
Yeah.
Which was a Bangor promotion way back when. This again, when you were saying like, oh, you worked for EWI. So, do you remember Legion Cage or?
Yeah.
Conrad?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He wrestled a lot against Paul Connor.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Paul Hudson.
Paul Hudson,
His
Paul
wrestling,
Hazard.
yeah.
He has 69 degrees.
Yeah.
So he used to run RBW. So Legion Cage's kind of brief backstory is he trained with Adrian Street in Florida, but he was from Bangor. He moved back to Bangor, opened up a wrestling
I'm
school.
a huge Adrian Street fan. Seriously,
He's
huge.
Adrian,
Unbelievable.
There's a match on YouTube, Adrian Street versus Jim Breaks from like 1973.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it.
It completely changed my view of like what wrestling can be.
Right.
So you now to get into the details of wrestling, I'm in my 40s. I'm assuming you're late 40s, maybe early 50s.
I'm going to be 61 next month.
61. Okay.
61.
All right. So I'm 45.
No, thank you for saying that I was that young.
I try.
No,
You never know.
thank
You never know.
Thank
You ever do the opposite where you're like, oh, you got to be like 65, and they're like, I'm 42.
Yeah, I've done that. I did that with a woman at work.
Oh,
and
God.
I even said to myself, why? Like, as soon as I said it, I'm like, why did you? Should have said no. I'm not gonna guess.
Never offer any. Yeah, always guess
It
low.
was bad.
Especially.
She was like 37,
Oh,
and I
God.
said she was 48.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
like,
how do you come back from that?
Yeah. I mean.
I just walked by a room really fast now.
Yeah, no. Every time you see you just give free moisturizer. Here's some face lotion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the wrestling's kind of changed, right? Where when we started watching wrestling, it was kind of like a staged wrestling. So the way I would
Well, it was kayfabe. Everybody, was supposed to be real. It was supposed to be presented as real. I mean,
so I would say that there's kind of like phases of what wrestling was. Like in the Carney days, it was essentially a wrestling exhibition. Right. So the idea I give is you go to a martial arts tournament, you go to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition or something like that. They'll do a demonstration of like, oh, here's a rare submission from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes.
And they have two people that they kind of like, they have a match, but it's the understanding like, oh, we're going to do this move, to end it.
Right.
And that would be like kind of like a wrestling demonstration.
Okay.
And then from there, you started doing like, well, I have this other move. Okay, well, if I do this move, then you should do this other move because that'll look really good. And that's to the point where you'd say that's kind of staged, right? Because you have sections of the match that are planned out. So you have staged wrestling.
Yeah.
And then that got to the point where you started doing like whole sections of the match that were like
Setting it
move
up.
for move, which would
Right.
be like choreographed wrestling.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Right.
And then there was kind of the side thing where people going through tables, going off of balconies, all that. And I would say that's stunts, right?
Right, yeah,
So
that's-
you would have the phase of there's wrestling demonstration.
Yep.
Then there's staged wrestling.
Yep.
Then there's staged wrestling because, you know, we only know a couple things.
Right.
With stunts.
Stunts, yes.
Then you would have choreographed wrestling.
Right. And then there'd be call it in the ring wrestling.
Well, so that I would say that's staged wrestling because
Okay.
you still have.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
at the-
no, you're right. Yeah,
I know at the
yeah, I
end,
agree.
I know that we're doing this, but I don't know what's happening here. I
Right.
don't know what's happening here.
Right.
But then there's, you know, choreographed wrestling with stunts.
Yeah.
And then I think it got to the point where it stopped doing choreographed wrestling and got to the point where it was like kind of like a fight scene. And the way I think the best example I can give, kind of where that change happened, I think, is do you remember at Ring of Honor? There was a match between Low-Ki and Amazing Red.
Oh, yeah, that was probably, had to be around 2005?
2000
2004?
somewhere around there,
somewhere
yeah.
around there, yeah.
Because it was before Low-Ki got signed, right? And he was,
Oh, the martial arts! Yes. That was 2003, actually.
okay, and then everyone started doing that.
Right, right.
But there, that wasn't like, I don't want to, you know, I understand that there's a choreographed spot in a wrestling match, but it wasn't choreographed wrestling. It was a choreographed fight scene.
Right, right. Yeah.
And then
And it looked really
It looked
good.
awesome.
Those guys were incredible.
it looked great, but that's, at that point, that's where people started doing, you would start doing choreographed
Right.
wrestling,
Right.
but then you would add in choreographed fight scenes, and then it got to, you know, then there were stunts involved. And now it gets to the point where I would venture to say, like, if you're spearing someone through a barricade
Yeah.
and you're doing that 3 times, I'm going to go ahead and say that's probably a choreographed stunt. That's
Yeah.
not necessarily a fight scene.
Right, right,
And
right.
similar,
Yeah.
you know, like a choreographed wrestling match. Have you seen the first movie, Deadpool? The first Deadpool
Yeah,
movie?
yeah.
Okay, cool. What's her name? Gina Carano?
Gina Caruso.
Gina Caruso does an armbar to Colossus.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
he's stuck in the armbar and you don't know what he's going to do and he's about to pass out. And instead of, you know, breaking it or like power bombing her or whatever, he grabs her, slams her against the thing and throws her like
Yeah.
40 feet.
Yeah.
Right? I would say that's the difference between a staged or choreographed wrestling spot
Yeah.
where you would pay, like Bob Backlund used to do.
Yes,
Where
yes. Yeah.
he would be in
Yep.
the key lock and he would
Right.
lift the guy up on his shoulders and put him down.
Yep.
That's a choreographed wrestling spot.
Right.
Whereas, you know, if I'm in an armbar and I slam the guy against the steps and slam him against the barricade and then throw him off, that's kind of like a choreographed fight scene.
Right.
So I think that's where we are in wrestling.
Right.
Is we've moved from, you know, all the way
that, yeah,
from a
yeah.
demonstration
Right.
to staged to choreographed, and then we shifted away from even wrestling to be
Right.
choreographed fight scenes. And I think that's why people, you know, like the people like you or I or people online or, you know, older wrestlers are just like, yeah, man, I grew up watching stage wrestling where, you know, you didn't necessarily know what was going to happen. And it was a wrestling match and people would get in and out of things and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff to, when you choreograph a fight scene, right? If you go to a Jackie Chan movie,
Yep.
right? You're either going to like the fight scene or you're not going to like the fight
Right,
scene.
right.
Right. There's no changing it. Like, it's not in the middle of the movie. You can't like hit a button and
Right.
be like, don't like that move.
Yeah.
And
Keep
then
going. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. They're going to change it. Right.
Yeah.
But wrestling used to be like that.
Right.
Where, you know, you have the guy in a chin lock or whatever, and you're listening to the crowd, and they're like, I don't like this one.
Yeah.
What else do we got? We do another thing, and they're like, they're not biting on this.
Right.
So and you know, going back to Adrian Street, what that was about is I watched that match between Adrian Street and Jim Breaks, where it's just a wrestling match, and I'm like, oh, you can just do this.
Right.
Like where it is just hold for hold. And to get back to Ken Banks, or Legion Cage, he ran RPW.
Yep.
And that's how I ended up meeting. I'm trying to remember who we were originally. This is my ADHD
Oh gosh, who
coming
were
back.
we talking about?
We've lost her. We've lost the plot.
We were talking about Legion Cage.
Yeah.
And then Paul Hudson was involved in that conversation.
No,
he was
we're
long
off.
gone. Yeah,
we're off. Is there anything else we're gonna?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just move out in the comments. Someone
All
be
right.
like, "Dear God, keep Tim on track. This is wild."
So my youngest daughter, Sarah, I told her I was having you on, and she was all excited, you know. And she wanted me to ask you, did you ever think about having a show with a Freaky Friday as a theme where wrestlers do drag and burlesque and the drag and burlesque wrestle? Obviously, you couldn't have it. You would have to pick and choose which ones would want to try it and do it, you know. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, so on our show for the Met, we had a wrestler, Red Hot Charles Stunning, who is a burlesque performer who is a wrestler as well from New York City. They wrestle on the show. They wrestled Delilah Hayden.
Oh, nice. I love Delilah.
Match. We had a match at the Black Box show that we had November of last year.
That's in Peabody, right?
No. So there's a Black Box in Providence.
Okay. Not the one that Todd Graham works at.
No.
Peabody.
Which is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous place. This one's in Providence. It's where Wrestle Party used to run.
Oh, okay.
My initial thought process behind Cab Wrestle was like, I'm going to run in all the places in Providence and try to get people from each. Right. You know, like I'm going to run at the Dark Lady, and the people who are at the Dark Lady who see the show are like, oh, I'm going to go see that next time.
Right.
And then I'm going to run at Buttonwoods Brewery, and all the people from there and be like, I like that. I'm going to the next one.
Right.
And what it seems like everyone says, like, oh my God, I like that. When's the next time you're coming back here? Like, it's been crazy. But yeah, so we had that, and then at the Black Box show, we had a match between Isana and Daisy Brooks where the loser had to do a drag performance. So Daisy Brooks did their first drag performance on the show.
That's cool.
So yeah, and like I said, the Cab Wrestle title can be defended anyway.
Right.
So absolutely, if a drag performer wins the championship,
in a karaoke contest,
and a wrestler wants to win it back, and they only will do a drag off, well then we better get some good drag performer wrestlers.
That's really cool. I like that a lot. What about is there any is any wrestling talent you would like to book in the future? Anybody that like you haven't booked yet that you're like, man, I got to try to get that him or her or them, whoever?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is my own reasons.
But it's your company, so you can have your own reasons.
Yeah, sure. I'm probably the most different promoter you're ever going to talk to.
A lot of people that wrestle for you have been on this show. A lot.
Oh, well,
a lot.
They'll probably tell you the same, where they're always like, oh, what'd you think of my match? I'm like, did the crowd like it? And they're like, yeah, the crowd liked it. I loved it. I loved it then. Did anyone say they're going to come back to the show because of your match? They're like, yes. I'm like, loved it. Best match of the show.
Yeah.
Love it. Like I could... It is physically impossible for me to care less about the quality of the wrestling on the show.
No,
I just want people to come back and come to the shows, right? I want it to be fun. But if I was being selfish, I would love to have Danhausen wrestle Dick Lane.
Oh, yeah.
I think that would be hilarious and amazing. And
I love Danhausen.
I don't, it depends on the, the crowd and the budget and that kind of stuff, but I would love to have Effie on a show. I think that would be great.
Effie's awesome too.
Yeah.
I go to a lot of GCW shows.
Yeah, I was saying.
Local ones. You know what I mean? Like,
how dare you? You drive all the way down to Connecticut. You can stop that right now.
For a lot of people call it garbage wrestling too, but I don't know. I like it. I have fun. I go with Joey Kilmartin. I don't know if you Joe. No, Joe. Yeah. Me and Joe, we have so much fun when we go together. But I do mushrooms. Sorry, Mom.
Oh,
yeah.
Porcini.
Oh, yeah.
Porcini mushrooms.
Yeah,
they're the best.
They were phenomenal.
They're the best. Yeah.
We had a blast.
Yeah, and what is there? There's that weird kombucha drink, ayahuasca, I think it's called.
I haven't tried that.
It's delicious.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Yeah, it's cherry. It's great. Yeah. Well, so with GCW, and correct me if I'm wrong here. And I think this may be wrestling fans in general.
Yeah.
The reason why you're going to GCW is because you're going with a friend and you're going to have a good time.
We're going to party. And that's the truth. Me and Joe, we go to we go, we're going to party at the wrestling show. That's exactly why we go.
Yeah.
Because we're partying too.
So that's Cab Wrestle.
Yeah,
that's all. I just want people who are going to have a good time and party.
You'll see me in Manchester, I guarantee it.
Okay. Awesome. That's going to be fun.
And I'll bring some people with me.
That's going to be great. We had a show at ISCO a while ago. May, I think it was. Our crowd drank them out of mixers.
Really?
Yeah, they had to close the bar a half hour early.
That's pretty good.
They're like, you need to.
Hardcore.
What's funny is after the show, the owner was like, I just had no idea that there was going to be this busy. One is I don't think they expected me to sell out,
right?
Because we sold out completely and then some. And that one of the ongoing issues with our venues is we run at a bar. Right. Or a restaurant or something like that, or a brewery, and they're like, well, we don't want to kick our
other
people out.
Right.
You know, they're already here.
Yeah.
So every show we start off, there's like 40 comps, Yeah. So you're like, oh God, what am I going to do? I'm not going to kick them out. So like we started out with 40 comps and then, sold 150 tickets and then ended up with people coming in. So, I mean, there were like, 200 plus people
awesome.
there at this crazy show. And they're like, yeah, I didn't expect us to drink that much.
You're
I'm like,
the only
sweetheart,
one
we're
doing-
gay.
Yeah,
like, that's what we do.
Right. But I mean, you're doing something that nobody else is doing. Seriously. Like no one's putting wrestling with all that. Is there anybody else?
No,
doing
I
it?
mean, I've heard that there's, I've seen like a drag performer on a wrestling show, and I've definitely
in New York.
Yeah, I saw one in New York. Blow actually, has like a drag performer on a show.
I did not know that.
But there's a difference, right? So, and if you haven't seen Blow, you have to go to Blow.
Yeah.
I would plug Blow. Blow is like the best drawing promotion in New England.
I used to like Blow.
by far. Glow.
No, I said I used to like Blow.
Oh no.
Sorry, Ma.
I don't know what you're talking about. None of that. That's how you find out you have ADHD. Is you're like, wow, I just can focus like a normal human being.
yeah.
This has done nothing for me. What is happening? Because like that's the same medication, right? Yeah. Oh wow, I just can finish my task that I am supposed to accomplish. Yeah. So Blow is kind of like a theater troupe that does a wrestling show and they have drag on the show.
Okay.
But like drag is kind of like it's kind of like an addition, like it's a feature, but it's a wrestling show,
right?
But there is some drag on it, just like you can see some wrestling promotions. You'll see like there's a band playing. That's been happening a lot more lately. But it's it's a wrestling show that has a band, whereas Cab Wrestle is like no, it's like we are equal portions.
Right.
The band plays
awesome.
for half an hour.
Yeah.
There's 5 drag performers. There's 2 or 3 burlesque performers.
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 matches.
Nice.
So it's like we try to do a 2-hour show.
Yep.
I'm 45. I like to be home by like midnight. It's amazing. If I can pull it off, it's great. Although we did a show at Dark Lady, it started at 10. I was like, what is wrong with you people? Like, why can't we?
That was a late night.
It was wild. That was such a crazy. There was 1,500 people at that like block party.
Yeah.
But I can't be like, oh, Cab Wrestle
but you
drew that 1,500.
No, but you probably got a lot of eyes on you though. That's for sure. It
was crazy. It was cool, and it was a Halloween block party for Dark Lady, which is one of the most popular drag or gay bars in Providence.
Nice. Listen, I wrote down a bunch of people that worked for you.
Okay.
So let's play like 6 minutes of the name game.
We'll try. And
I love these people that I wrote down here too. Lumberjake.
Oh my God, Lumberjake is adorable. So Lumberjake is one of the funniest people I know by far.
And to me, he seems quiet because I don't know him like everybody.
No.
You know what I mean?
He is quiet.
Yeah.
So, do you know Rui Botello? Have you heard the name Rui Botello?
Yeah, I have, but
awesome. So he used to be a wrestler. He started wrestling with me. It was Royalty or King Rui Botello, and his bachelor party was it was a roast. Like we did a roast of him instead of again he got married 34 or something like that. And you're 34. You're like, I'm not going to the strip club. This is dumb. I'm 34. This isn't happening. So we did a roast, and Jake killed. He told a joke about me, which I will repeat, and it's hilarious. So I don't know if you know this. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness.
I did not know
until I was 19.
Okay.
I was a Jehovah's Witness, and I ended up leaving, and that's when I started wrestling.
You didn't knock on my door. We had Jehovah's Witnesses, but you weren't in Lowell.
No, I wasn't. I was in the Coventry congregation. So I was down in Rhode Island. But he told this joke. He said, I know Tim Kilgore was raised a Jehovah's Witness, and he was disfellowshipped from the Jehovah's Witnesses, which means like you're cast out. It's not exactly true, but still. And so he was disfellowshipped. He's like, Tim, are you sure that they started shunning you and they didn't just walk away disinterested when you were talking like everyone else? Which is my favorite. So yeah, Jake is amazing and hilarious.
Jake is awesome. All right. How about Vegan Keegan?
Oh my God, I love him. He's such a sweet guy. You could...
Tall, lanky. He's got a good build.
You could. I made a joke with him the other day where I was like, "Oh, can you still shred cheese on your abs? Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I had this really weird idea for him to be like a vegan protester.
Okay.
You know, because like what are the most, you ever there's a joke about like a vegan, an atheist, and a CrossFitter at the bar. No, there's no joke. They just wouldn't shut up about it the entire time I was there. So like I was thinking of having him like before the show is having like a
Right.
protest sign, like meat is murder or something like that. And do something with like drag performers where if
Right.
they're wearing like a fur or something, have them throw paint on them and that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's super cool. He's really nice.
He really is cool. How about Ryan Frost? Frosty. I love Ryan.
So Frost is a theater guy like me. He actually has a major in theater from
nice.
college and stuff.
He probably, you know something, he's been on a few times. He probably told me that, and I'm sorry I don't remember.
It's okay. You'd mentioned earlier you had habits that may have killed that off. But yeah, he's awesome. He was technically our first Cab Wrestle champion.
Oh, nice.
He was on the Connecticut show and he won the title, and then Pax rolled him up from behind and won the championship from him. So he is trying to get the championship back. Not to give away the storyline of the next show, but that is going to be one of the focuses, is him trying to win the title back somehow, some way.
Excellent. All right, how about Derek Conway?
Hey, so Derek was a tag partner of mine, actually.
Was he really?
Yeah, so in NCW, that's how I met him, is it was basically at NCW, I was with Delilah and Derek.
Right.
And the idea was like they were funding my costumes and stuff like that. And that's kind of how I met Derek and Delilah. And I came up with this idea. It did not go over as well as I thought it would.
Right.
But the idea of like being a throuple.
Yeah.
Just because like if we're in a local VFW hall, it's going to make people really uncomfortable.
Right.
Of like, oh no, they're all of them are together.
They're actually in one of those.
Yeah.
Throuple.
Fair, yeah, and that's kind of how I got the idea. It was just throwing me in it.
Yeah.
And they're like,
We're Reggie.
no, we're not. He's 10 years older than us. That's disgusting. But yeah, Derek's really cool. He's done a
is
lot
a
of
great
really
kid.
The last show, not the last show, but the show before that in September, he did this thing where it was his birthday and he tied a helium balloon on his wrist. So when the wrestlers went to pin him, the balloon pulled his arm up and his shoulder was off the mat. So that happened like 3 or 4 times, and it was amazing.
That's cool. No, I like Dennis a lot. Derek.
Yes.
How about Osiris?
Oh, so Osiris is actually a former Jehovah's Witness as well. So I met him in probably 2003. I don't know how that came up.
Yeah.
But we were in the same big block. So like Jehovah's Witnesses have congregations, and then there's like a circuit that's like a larger thing that you will go to assemblies and stuff. So we kind of bonded on that. I had a YouTube channel for a while called Tough Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses that became kind of famous for a little while. I was doing talks around about like how to break people from cult thinking and stuff like that. But yeah, he's my brother from another mother is what we say. Yeah.
Nice. How about Stephen Lust?
Oh my God, Stephen Lust is amazing. Yeah. Yeah, no, I love him.
Me too.
He's one of my
love them
favorite
both.
people.
The other Stephen too.
When I came back to training, he was the guy that was just like, you and me, we're gonna do all of our things.
He's been really killing it for a couple of years now, like honestly, like as a singles.
Yeah.
I mean, because he was in the tag team for so long, but I mean, he really is.
Yeah, he's turned it up.
It's incredible, man. Great work. Last name, Elle Valentine.
Oh my God, she's like the next superstar for sure. Yeah, she's amazing. I try to get her on as many shows as humanly possible.
Right.
She's just super busy.
Yeah, she gets booked everywhere because she's so talented,
Yeah.
man. She really is. Tim, thanks, man. Why don't you plug your show?
Cab Wrestle,
You got time. Don't
Cab
worry.
Wrestle, New Year's Eve. You gotta come. It's Narragansett Brewery in Providence, Rhode Island. Only $10.
Tim, thanks, buddy.
Thanks so much.
All right. Peace. Hi, guys. I hope you're enjoying the show. Listen, I could use a little help to grow my YouTube channel. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe. That's most importantly, subscribe. Send me a direct message, and I'll give you a shout out here on the show. My YouTube channel is real simple. It's just my name, Leo Connors. Thanks in advance. Peace.